threatened to do it, and then I just did it. We are now live. Hello, Internet. Happy Thursday. Wait, oh crap. None of the cameras are on the right way. Hold on. Check it out. Bam, all right, now the cameras are on the right way. Who's calling me? Oh, it's my wife. I'll text her back. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Let me quickly text my wife back here. I tried to call her just a minute ago. 1 second. Streaming. I will call you soon. All right, maybe she thought it was some sort of emergency, but mostly I was just bored. Hello, everybody. Yes, somebody, Emoto made a fat finger when she was typing the designer. It is Jim Patla, not Palta, but it's okay. I forgot to tell her to fix it because I forgot immediately when we were done streaming last week. Let's see. Will Marco have a booth at the show? Yeah, unfortunately, we won't be at Pintastic. You can fix it when you come back. Don't worry about it, Emoto. Well, we will not be going to Pintastic, unfortunately. I've always wanted to go to that show. So maybe sometime. Looks like a really good one, and looks like you guys will have a lot of fun. Friend of the show, Bat Outta Hell by Meatloaf, will be there. So go bother him and tell him that he's super cool. Happy National Hydration Day. Yeah, JG on YouTube. Happy Thursday. Yes, it is a happy Thursday. Pinball Gramps. Gilligan's Island is alive. That's fantastic. Good job. But it ate one of the balls. That's weird. So look behind rubbers. Maybe it got eaten by a slingshot or something like that. Yeah, or maybe just the volcano took it as a sacrifice. That's also fine. Not ideal, but sometimes that's just the reality of things, isn't it? There's a lot of things are not ideal in life. JG loves the weekly live streams. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming, because if the folks like you that came here were not cool, I would have quit many episodes ago. So since I like you guys and you like me, it's a really symbiotic thing, isn't it? Yeah, how was everyone's weekend? I think we were talking about like boring dad stuff last week. I didn't mow the lawn. It was too hot. I didn't feel like going outside. It was miserable. South Carolina is very miserable for a lot of the year. So I stayed inside, play video games, clean the house, you know. APB Enterprises says that they love Kyle and Emoto and the chat. Well, we love you. And I am excited to see you again soon, whenever that may be. Yes, I did. I pulled a Barney, Colin. I was raised on Barney, I'm sure. Yeah, and he is a Barney, literally. We all love each other. But yeah, the weekend was pretty okay for me. There's some fun stuff. Did some work on games at Transmission Arcade a little bit this week. Got a couple things dialed in a little better, so the arcade's happy. I'm doing a service call with my customer that I really like working on his games this weekend. He's got a bunch of nice new games and needs a couple things dialed in. And then I'm going to use one of his kayaks and hit the lake when we are done working on games. So that'll be kind of fun. Anywho, I think we should just get to work. I think progressing and seeing what's going on will end up being make us all feel great. So I think we'll do a recap when I'm done with this, but if you've been catching along on this saga, if we even want to call it a saga, because it's actually kind of pathetic, and generally sagas are epic and exciting. But we had a light that was acting funny. I got caught up on something that was absolutely unrelated, but it could have been, but it was absolutely not unrelated, and I let that part of my brain latch on to what was going on, which was nothing. And I basically forgot 100% of how to effectively troubleshoot anything because this thing threw me for a weird loop, and I didn't use the most powerful tool in your toolbox, which is other boards. So we had a lamp that was sticking on. I found there was like a bunch of wires that seemingly changed colors when they weren't supposed to, and there's also like 3 lamps that are run on a blue-yellow wire in this game or something silly. Anyways, long story short, we threw an old lamp driver in after verifying the wire positions were in, and it fixed the problem. So that instantly told us that the problem was with this board and not actually with anything else going on in the game. We replaced the SCR on the board. That didn't do anything. But what ended up being the issue is we actually have a bad, this IC here on the board, it controls. It takes the lamp address data and data lines and sends that information to make the SCRs do their job. And we just had one gate, probably just like it failed open. So what we have is a problem where the light would always be kind of lit, and then when it was supposed to be driven, it would be even brighter. So we have a problem in the chip. So, well, that's also what we think. It's kind of the last thing on this board, so it has to be. So what we're going to do is replace it. I have come fully equipped today with some board working equipment. We are going to use the Hacko desoldering iron. If I did not have this desoldering iron with me, the way I would attack this would be also quite simple. We would, you kind of have to do it in 3 stages, but you cut all the legs off of the chip, so then the actual chip comes off. You can then heat the pins up from the solder side of the board and use a pair of flush cutters to extract the pins, and then suck the hole clean of solder, and then install a socket, and then install the chip. That is the #1 way to do this like really gently, in the sense that on these older boards, the traces are quite small and delicate. They're single-sided, so it's really easy to pull traces up. So sometimes it's the easiest way to do it is the longest way to avoid having to run patch wires or to damage a board. Since I have this really expensive, fancy solder sucker, that kind of makes the whole job a little more gentle. I looked in the schematic. The chip that controls the SCR in question is U2. So I am going to apply some flux here on U2 and kind of get to work. I don't have any flux remover with me, unfortunately, so I think I might need to hit it with some, just some, I don't know, lacquer thinner, alcohol, something, just to kind of clean the mess up a little bit. But yes, the best. Early Ballys are the best. They are my favorite. Yeah, no, yeah, I'll switch the cameras for sure. Insanity Falls is like, can we not look at you and actually look and see what you're doing? The answer is yes, and I'm going to do that now. Cool. That way you can get a little bit closer view of what's going on. So it's hot as heck. So yeah, apply solder sucker to the pins, give it some time, let the solder melt. Let the solder melt from the bottom all the way through the top, and then hit the vacuum and suck all the solder in to the reservoir. Do be careful with the amount of time you keep the solder sucker on the board. I just yanked a pad off, but not all of the inputs of the chip are used, so there are just a lot of like pads that you will solder to hold the chip on. And since this is a single-sided board, all the connections are made only on the solder side. That can happen. These boards are old and delicate, so you do need, you sometimes will pull those pads off, the ones that don't actually have a trace attached to them. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. Where's a poking device? You see right there? There's that one, yeah. I pulled this pad off. It has no trace attached to it, so with the heat and the suction, it just yanked that pad off, and that's fine. It really won't affect anything. PinDaddy41 subscribed for 19 months. Wow, you're one heck of a friend of the show. Thank you. Much appreciated. Giving us the Cletus and magic hands here. They call me the trace puller. Yeah, guilty. Yeah, this is a Hacko FR301. It's a very handy tool. See if we can get all this out quickly. So last week when we yanked the SCR out, I just used my manual vacuum pump. And that's okay when you're doing maybe like 2 or 3 connections, but when I have to unsolder 24 pins, the solder sucker, the desoldering iron makes the work go a lot faster. And not only that, you will get better results and lift less traces and pads. The suction from a manual sucker can be very violent in comparison to the gentle suction that this provides. So if you have it, you might as well use it. It's getting a teeny bit jammed up. I'm going to run the ream through the tube here. The stock size tip that comes with this solder sucker is just the right size for these 0.100 connections. So most ICs and like the small headers on pinball boards, but you will not be able to use these effectively on a 0.156 connector. You will need to get a larger tip. That was a naked pad. It just kind of came off. One thing I will recommend, I will get back to the chat in just a second, but when I am pulling chips out, or when I am using the solder sucker, kind of a safe way to do it is to, again, get on there, melt, suck, draw it out, and then as you pull it up, keep sucking. That way, it will try to remove any bit of solder that might be slowly coming through the tube. It won't get stuck and be a liquid blob in the center. You really want to draw it all into the chamber because that's when it starts to really turn into a frustrating tool when you have to consistently unclog them, etc. So, Data East Star Wars. Yeah, you should get a Data East Star Wars. Okay, so we did this so well that the chip just magically came out. That's fantastic. Let's set it aside. Actually, you know what? Since it's bad, generally with a bad chip like this, just in case so I don't sit there and think like, oh yeah, good, you know, there's a spare. I will ruin them, bend the legs in, cut the legs off or something like that. Sometimes I'll give these things to friends to make art out of. I keep a lot of this stuff, but I try to mark them as bad somehow. But yeah, there's that. Now we have a big empty space. If you notice on the board itself in the silk screening here, we have a notch cut in. That helps us figure out the orientation of the chip. I am going to install a socket. There is absolutely zero reason to install a chip without a socket. It costs a little bit more, but just don't do it. You lose a lot of points if you do. Sockets are expensive. They raise the price of materials, the bill of materials, when building a board. And even though it's like, oh yeah, well it's only like 30 cents or 20 cents or 5 cents, how much would that really make that much of a difference? But when you're a corporation or a manufacturer making like 10,000 of those things, that 30 cents really goes a long ways. A lot of the times you'll see very few things socketed on a board. On Bally pinball boards, you have your ROMs, your RAM, and your processor, and maybe your PIA, but not everything is socketed. So we're going to install our socket. These machine pin sockets that I have here don't have like an actual notch cut into them per se, but there is one side of the socket has like a bit of a notch in it. I don't know if that comes through. I'm going to put that in the orientation where the notch would go. Thankfully, you can actually still see where the notch is on the board also. You don't want to rely on it as like an actual rule of thumb, but if you're a good electrical engineer, good electrical engineers tend to put all of the chips with their notches oriented the same way, but do not rely on that. If you had to guess that, which way something went and everything is facing one way, you've probably got a good bet by doing it that way. But anyways, RW99. Subscribing for 8 months in a row. Thank you very much. What I'm doing, I put my screwdriver underneath the socket to kind of hold it in place. Since they're clean holes, it's going to want to fall through. What we'll do is we'll take one corner of said socket and we will tack it in. That way I can try to get my finger on the other side and hold it flat, heat up that tack, and then get it to seat perfectly flush with the board. So I will use this fat like 5-volt trace or whatever this might be. Lay a little bit of solder down there. And the solder was way too hot and it immediately fell out. I did not let it cool off and dry. So now I'm going to suck that little bit of solder out and we will try that again. Being a little impatient here. Emoto will be back. Emoto is here. She had to run a really quick errand that just also intersected with the beginning of this show. So I'd give her another 10 minutes and she'll probably be back. Because I know most of you just come here to talk to Emoto anyways. I don't blame you. Turn that back off. All right, which way did we have this? That way. I'm really surprised that that chip just like immediately fell out. It's really nice when they do that. Sometimes you have to kind of heat them up and coerce them out, but Today, gravity was on my side. I'm gonna let it sit just a little bit longer. All right, there we go. It's actually sitting quite flush, so I am going to tack in the opposite corner here. The reason I do it this way is it makes it easier. You don't need to use your fingers to hold it in. You know, soldering is already kind of like a three-handed job, but we only have two. So when you need that fourth hand, it makes it even more difficult. Though, the other reason I'm not using my hand is because they get hot. So if you have your finger on the socket and then you're heating up the pin, that teeny little pin immediately becomes like 500 degrees and burns the crap out of your finger, and that's not fun. So I am going to go through here and apply nice little solder mountains to each of these pins, and then I will inspect them under magnification. Less is more. Again, this is the way I was taught, and this is the way I judge myself, but if you install a new component on a circuit board and it does not look like any repairs have ever been made to it, you've done it right. The ability to get in there and lay down just enough solder so it looks like a machine did it is the goal you're going for. It's a little difficult, but with a little practice, it's really not that hard. Less is more, always, in this circumstance. And remember, this is also a single-sided board, so there are no through-hole vias and traces on the top side. So you really just need to apply just the right amount of solder and get that soldering iron out of there. A lot of the time when we're soldering on multi-layered boards, you'll kind of add yourself like a big little, you'll add like a mountain in here, and then the solder will, the pin will heat up and it will fall through to the other side of the board. But since this is only a one-sided board, we can do it quite easily. And also without flux. I use the flux on the back side of the board to get the old solder to kind of cooperate and melt cleaner and easier and faster, which is also probably why we got a really good initial removal of the old chip. So could use your feet, yeah, if I was better appendages. What about if it looks like a drunk fifth grader did it? Well, that's fine too, as long as it works. But yeah, it's a little bit more solder than factory, but I am not opposed to. I give myself like a solid B, maybe an A. Wait, where is it? There it is. It's not going to focus ever, and it looks sloppy because it's all fluxy, but trying to get those teeny little hills, right, where the surface tension of the solder creates just the teeniest of peaks. That's what you're looking for. I'm going to go find something to wipe the flux off with, but we will install the chip with the notch facing the correct way. Yay. Okay, let me go get some sort of toxic, alcoholish sort of thing. I don't know where my flux remover went. I thought I had some here. Spray adhesive, that's what I need, right? Oh, hey, there's my flux remover. Da-da-da. I'm going to do this over a garbage can. I don't have a flux remover toothbrush. I think that's what's actually missing, but this will take the icky flux off of the board. In lieu of a toothbrush, I will just use my paper towel here to kind of dab it off. It dissipates and dries out really quick, so. All right, now I sniffed in the aerosol, so I'm sufficiently high, I guess, after that. Hopefully you're working in a well-ventilated room. This one is not very well ventilated, but hold your breath next time. Cool, okay, so now, in theory, we should have a perfectly working lamp driver board, which would be fantastic. So I want to go test it. Also, I think some of the flux remover somehow came through. I'm going to clean it off just because this board's really nice and clean. Excellent. We have a question here. I just signed in. How do you test to make sure your solder points are good, and how do you fix it if you get too much solder and two traces are touching? What I would recommend is if you, well, okay, so to test if your traces are good, or if your connections are good, if you're not confident enough in your ability, you can always bust out your multimeter. You can grab your multimeter and put it in diode mode, put one end on what you soldered and another end where the trace ends up going. Hey, Moto. She's muted. The other way, what I'll normally do, especially with a single-sided board like this, is I'll just use my, my jeweler's loop, and I will just make sure. If you have two solder traces that are touching, grab your solder sucker or your desoldering braid and just start over. Use less. Solder, that is.
Hi, Kyle. Hi, everybody. I'm back.
Hello.
I see you're doing a lot of solder sucking.
Oh, we have completed the sucking phase.
I missed it.
And we are on to the installation phase.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix the layout now.
Just change his name. Make it, it's
Yeah.
P-A-T.
It's
so
just a
put,
typo.
Yeah, just,
I was
just
moving
do
too
it in
fast.
OBS. Don't spend
I'm
it.
sorry.
Look at that. So you can see the missing pad, but what I'll do is I'll go through just to make sure. I can see, even though my vision is absolute crap, I can still kind of see enough to know that I did not bridge anything, but having magnification is great. And that's why I carry this 10x jeweler's loop with me all over the place.
Is it a Carl Zeiss lens?
No, it's like cheap 80s hardware store.
Oh, and it still works good?
Well, heck
cool.
Yeah. Get this back glass out.
Right.
We'll get our donor board out of here. Ugh. Let me get my, what's it called? Standoff compressor. Did you reflow all the headers? Nope. I reflowed the headers that were cracked on the ends. Generally, the center ones don't need it. The outside ones crack, and I did all those a long time ago. Good. No, absolutely. I've done a lot of soldering on this show. This show is this program is all documented on YouTube and such, and it's not the greatest show to like go back and like learn things concentrated and quick. But if you don't mind sitting around for an hour and a half and listening to me blabble, there are a lot of brain dumps that might help you. And generally, we try to title those pertinent episodes, like when we were actually trying to. Like, okay, here's the soldering ones. You know, we will do intro to soldering or board work or this or that. So there are some of those that do exist. Okie dokie, let's install this guy here.
Oh, yeah, for cameras. Ooh.
And since this did not take long at all, we probably can yank the rectifier board out and do that. That would actually be a first on this show. We've never done the early Bally rectifier boards like this one. So
let's do it.
Fire this sucker up. Actually, first I'm going to move the back glass, since if we are going to do the rectifier board, I want to have this be safe. Let's fire it up.
Oh, Insanity Falls, that's a great tip. I want to build little solder animals.
Huh.
You could do little sculptures to practice soldering with solder and paper clips. We should have a sculpture contest.
Hey, guess what? It didn't fix it. Okay, so
Homegrown B-Dub, thanks for your first time chat. Board work tutorials are seriously lacking on the internet, at least good ones. I agree. We should do more, like, concise ones, Kyle. I guess it's kind of hard to do board work tutorials.
Yeah, no, it can be hard to,
without this
especially
kind
to
of
make
like
them
organic
concise.
setting of.
Okay, so the rest of this circuit is really, really simple. So the problem exists only on this board. And we've replaced the decoder chip. So the only other two things we have are potentially, we've ruled out that two lines touching, but I mean, maybe we have a resistor that's low, but I think we measured all the resistors. Let's take a look really quick. So let's see. So U2 was the correct one, right? Let's double check that. So U2 gets address data, lamp address data, and then lamp data. That comes in to one side of the chip, data lines, address lines, and then it dumps out everything else. So since it's only affecting one thing, not multiple things, I'm going to assume everything on the left side of the chip is fine. The only thing, I guess, that really could be in question right now could be R19. R19, or I suppose like the path to ground itself. So I should check all traces out of that chip through R19, but I believe we did measure R19, and we found that the resistance was in spec. So all resistors are 1/4 watt, 5%. What is R19? They're 2,000 ohm. Man, I like how we were so confident. It was like, oh, the end of the problem, but it's not. Let me do a little.
See, that's why I didn't want to put that. You always do this to me. You're like, it's the end. It's the end of part 2. It's the end of part 3. It's the ... Is this the end? Question mark.
Yeah, well, we got to leave it open-ended.
Pinball repair never ends. That's kind of the beauty of it. But we need to embrace that. There
I'm
is
so
no
confident.
ending.
I mean, unless something like took Q19 out while we were working on it, that's a possibility. Wait, hold on. Let me also put it in test mode too, just to make sure. I'm pretty sure it's doing the same exact thing. Yeah, it is. I don't know. Let me see if I have some 2K resistors. Also, let me measure resistors between boards just to see what they both say really quick. But we might move on to the rectifier board, and we can figure this one out next time, because I really don't want to sit here and think about this when we could be doing something actually instructional. Where did I put my thingy that I continuously lose? I probably brought it over here with me because, yep.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right. Let's bust out.
I was pulling up the schematic so we could kind of follow along, too.
Oh, I brought my schematic this time, so that's nice.
Right, but we can't see it.
Yeah, I can put it on the camera. I'm just trying to go fast.
Oh, you don't need to. I have it right here. Just show me where to go.
Let's see here. So I want to measure resistance.
Okay.
What's up?
I was just trying to find a camera that actually had you in it.
Measuring things in circuit is never really the greatest way. Measuring resistance in circuit is not great, but like theoretically.
Oh, there's music playing in the background. Oh, sorry, I can't help myself.
The dramatic music is nice.
It was my Viking music. I'm sorry. Can you adjust your camera angle too?
In just a second.
Did you guys see that?
I'm getting basically the same reading. It's jumping around a little bit, but I'm also not measuring it out of circuit. Wait, now it's being weird. If I have a 2K ohm resistor, I should probably just shotgun it and see what happens. What you're supposed to, you should be measuring resistors out of circuit, because when there are all sorts of things connected to them, that will increase the residual resistance that you'll be reading with your meter. So this 2000 ohm resistor is reading, right now it's showing 15K, but it's also jumping between like 15 and 11. Wait, no, are all of these reading that way, or is it really just that? This auto-ranging meter is also weird. Let me look at my box and see if I've got a 2K. 2K is red, black, red. We'll spend just another couple minutes on this and see what we get. I guess at the same time, maybe, since they're also basically free, I could shotgun the SCR also. I'm not as confident that, like, if there was a problem with that decoder chip, it took out another SCR, but also since we just replaced the SCR and nothing changed, I am also not confident that that was ever the problem. Anyways, so now I'm confused. The problem definitely exists on one board, so it's fixable, but might not do that right now. Let me look at my box of resistors here and see if I can find a, oh, I think I found a red, black, red right there.
Yay! Wait, how do I get, let's get closer.
Is that red? It's a little bit less red than the other red that is red.
Is that okay?
No.
Does it mean that it's gonna have what's the difference with the color coding?
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember it. I need to use a chart, but it's Like
But there is a difference. Like the color is
one
very specific and
one
important.
color is going to mean like red. I think red means like 2, and then like black is like your second digit, and then the last one is like a multiplier, and then the last band is your tolerance. There's resistor calculators out there where you can say, oh, it's got 3 bands or 4 bands, and it's this color, this color, this color, and it will tell you what it is. You can use your meter a lot of the time.
So in
too.
layman's terms, just make sure you match up the colors exactly.
Yeah, use your schematic and order what's correct. I mean, this is red, black, red. Are any of you smart people?
You have lice.
I might have dandruff.
No, you're good. Insanity Falls asks, to be clear, shotgun means replace without verifying it's bad, right?
Yeah. At this point, I don't care. I just want to fix it. So that's generally, I mean, that is a very valid way of fixing things. You know, just replace things until you replace the correct thing. See,
So you're using the meter right now to test it?
Yeah, and it's just reading weird. It's reading it's going between like 9 to 6.5K, and now I'm like not trusting this meter. I don't like this meter. I also I don't particularly like auto ranging meters either. I like meters that you can set. Because I'm dumb, and it makes it easier for me to verify what I'm reading. Where is another red, black,
Insanity
red?
Falls says, red, black, red is 2K. The last band is just the tolerance.
Yeah, so I think the gold band is like 5, it's within 5%, so. I think DigiKey has a really good resistor calculator that's really simple to use. But, you know, this is red, black, red, so I believe it is what it is, so I'm just going to put it in. The meter might be lying to me, even though generally that's not what meters do, but I also want to replace its battery. I'm thinking that might be like a good course. But also, I don't think I have batteries right now, so I'm not going to change them. So, anyways, sorry, I'm getting loopy. Let's replace R19 for shits and sillies and giggles. Oh, Emoto just looked at me horrified. And
my ears. Hey, do you think we'd ever get the soldering practice kits back in stock?
I don't know.
Why?
Maybe
Can
because
you find them?
whoever used to make them doesn't make them anymore, and that might be why we don't have them. Let's fire up the sucker, and we will install another resistor. While I'm back here, I'm going to kind of look at the what is going on. There's like really no work done on this board. I think I'm the only person that's ever really soldered on it. And the problem existed before I started soldering on it, so.
Yeah, Insanity Falls, are you going to come up with a new product line that we can push on our website? Email Kyle. Kyle, do you have any tips for Homegrown who was asking if we had any practice boards for sale to practice?
No, go to
board
a pinball swap meet and just find the grossest, most destroyed board and get it for free and then practice on it.
Nice.
Never practice on something you need to use. That's the best advice I could give you.
What's up, Didge? Thanks for joining us. It's always better late than never. I was late too, so don't feel bad.
Who's late? Oh, welcome.
Welcome.
Let me make sure that these aren't touching.
Daniel's late too, but we are so glad to see you as well.
Hello.
Oh, wow. He's on the island Brock in
Lucky
the
you.
Adriatic Sea.
What a nice vacation spot.
That sounds awesome. I'm gonna Google it.
What I want to tell you now is
I'm
like,
thinking.
why are you on Twitch? You should turn this off and go enjoy your holiday. But
Because he loves watching you work on boards. And you said this was the ending of Viking, so he wanted to see the finale.
you said no one ever. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true too. You just go to a store with something broken and just grab a destroyed tape deck or something and then just solder on it. That's viable.
Oh, wow. This island looks so beautiful. Oh, my gosh. What? Can we please go to Croatia?
Yes.
Is there a pinball show there?
No.
There should be.
Let's see. I can also try, even though I don't trust the range on this meter right now for some reason, but that's also probably a user error, not the meter's fault. I am going to check this thing out of circuit. No, see, it's fine. I'm getting 1.941K. So that is 2 ohms. There is a problem elsewhere on this board.
Oh no!
It is
That's
not
the
the
worst
resistor.
thing to hear.
No, it's fine.
Because
It's fine. It's just
That's what scares me the most. You think you know the problem and you start working towards it and you fix that and then it doesn't fix it.
it's thankfully this board is really dang simple and I've replaced almost everything. So I think what it is I need to sit down when I can actually think, and I don't have to talk, and I can try to, you know, attack this a little more intelligently.
Insanity Falls, that sounds like an awesome kit idea.
Yeah, this board is pretty simple. It just takes in data from the computer. That data is then shot into chips that decode that data and send pulses out to these SCRs to do their jobs. So there is something that might be shorted out. There might be two lines crossing somewhere. It doesn't look like it anywhere. But we know that the issue exists on this board because when we swap another board in, the problem goes away. So I think instead of prolonging this boredom, let's do something that's a little more straightforward. Even though I am sitting here really fine-tooth combing.
What did you do?
Are they supposed to be tied together? I'm pretty sure they are. Pins 1, 2. Give me 1 second. That's J1, right? J4. Pins 1 and 2 on J4 are supposed to be tied together, right? J4, pins 1, 2, 11, and 12 are all tied together at ground, and that is how it is set up. So, hold on, let me see here. R19.
Here, we wanna follow along. Where are you on the schematics?
So I was looking at J4, and I was just looking to see if there's two pins that are tied together, like they were soldered together, and that's how they're supposed to be.
Where do I find
I think
J4?
if there was a problem with
I'm
any
on
of
you.
Top left corner on the lamp driver schematic. That's not it.
Was it the original one we were on?
Yes.
Was it the original?
Yeah, so
this
scroll
one?
down a little bit. It's on the left-hand side.
Okay.
So J4. So if you scroll down on that, on the left-hand side, you'll see it shows pin 10, 9, 8, 1, 2, 11, 12. And you can see
This is
1,
my
2,
favorite.
and 11 and 12 are all tied to ground. And that's what I was
Yeah.
double checking there.
Okay.
It's pretty simple though. I think if we had issue with the lamp data or the lamp address data, we would have our problems. The problems would be split between multiple issues. Like if we had one bit of data wrong, it would affect a lot of lamps, and we have one lamp affected. So I guess the frustrating thing is, like, again, we've got the resistor in line, R19, specs out. We've replaced the controller chip. The problem still persists. We replaced Q19 before we did anything else, but since we have the same problem, I don't think Q19 has failed in any way. It's a perplexing one. So I think we'll leave this one be for just a minute, and maybe we'll move on to something that we can make a little progress on. This will be a fun one to figure out. I like actually using my brain to fix these sorts of things. It's just not something we're going to do today. Even though I'm still sitting here staring at it, being like, the answer has to be right in front of me.
You did replace that U2 chip?
Yes. Yeah, Bob,
Poor Chuck.
we've actually been, we had to fight over that a little bit trying to figure it out. What Q19, as far as we know, see, and that's the weird thing. But what we found is that there's actually a splice connector that steals the lamp data coming off of it steals some of the drives that should be for the back box, and it sends them down to the playfield. So there's actually this doodad here. And that's what originally threw me for a loop, because we had so many different. Hey, Amoto, can you change to the handheld?
Yes, I will. Yes, I'm just trying to get this guy to be nice. Okay.
Be nice.
Because you're just using the overheads. Why do you hate me?
There we go.
That's pretty shot. Thank you.
So this intercepts stuff coming off of J2. So it comes up in here to go to the head, but then it also yanks some back to put it back into the playfield harness. That kind of threw me for a loop too. And the problem is too is in the affected area, there's the 10X and the 10K light, and they both look very similar, but we've also ensured that the wire that comes out off of the output of Q19 does actually drive the light. We had to go that silly and granular just because there are multiple lights that use a blue and yellow wire. So this has been a little bit of a headache. And it's funny because this shouldn't be a headache. This is a very cut and dry, very simple thing most of the time. So we've just got a goofy error going on, and I need to clear my head and look at it one day. But anywho, I'm gonna cut power to all of these things really quick instead of unplugging the game, so I can remove the the transformer board. I am not a man with a mission. I'm failing in my mission. I've got like a massive...
Pinball Gramp says there's only one chip that hasn't been replaced.
Yeah, which one?
The one you're looking for.
Yep. Oh yeah. It's always the last problem the last thing you're trying to solve too.
You do look kind of like a superhero trying to like solve a crime or something. The way you're standing and then looking through the journalists.
You know what? Just for giggles, no, they don't fail that way. It's not failed that way. I was thinking since now I'm not even certain that the actual problem is with was with that decoder chip. I was thinking it's like, well, if the chip was bad, like it would make the SCR, potentially the SCR failed or something. But usually when the SCRs fail, the lamps are locked on, or they are, or they don't work at all. They don't work off sync. Man, I was so convinced that we had this solved. That's funny. I'm just really trying to see, it's like, is there something really silly where there's like two traces touching each other anywhere in this circuit?
Can you put the handheld camera on it and then we slowly move it around and see if the chat sees anything?
I'll just post a high-res picture of it in Discord and all you guys could sit here and look at it. I'm going to turn everything off and remove the transformer board because that's something we can make really good progress on. And it's easy.
Hi, Mr. Loaf. We were just talking about you and telling everybody to go say hi to you at Pentastic.
Yep.
Several of y'all are going. We are sad we are not going to Pentastic this year, but we hope you guys have a great time this weekend. And Mr. Webster, hopefully you can escape your in-laws for a little bit longer so you can party at Pentastic. I can't wait to go to that show one day. One day.
For extra safety, I have turned off the switch which drives the power to the game. You have to be careful when you are working on the rectifier board. Oh, I just goofed that up.
Oh my God, did you just shock yourself?
No. Well, that's what I was going to say. You have to be careful because 110 volts is present on this board. This is the wire from the transformer, I think. I don't even remember now. I'm pretty sure this is the wire from the transformer, so you have to know which one you disconnect to not zap yourself. The safest way to do it is to turn the game off or unplug it from the wall. And when I mean turn the game off, shut power off. So unplug it from the wall and then start servicing this thing. You can do this in the back box, but it's a pain.
Talk to Pop. Let us know what
and
the
since
answer
you can do it on the bench, there's no reason why you shouldn't do it on the bench. So that's what we're going to do.
Nice. We get good bench angles.
All right.
Oh, volts don't kill, amps do. That should be like a bumper sticker on a car. And on a bumper car.
Most electricians have that as a bumper sticker. It's not the heat that'll get you, it's the humidity, says every person from Ohio on vacation in the South.
Kyle, did you know that the voltage that can stop a heart varies from one person to another depending on how healthy that person is? On average, 30 volts is enough to stop a heart.
Wow.
How many volts are in there?
There's 110 on this board, and then there's 42 going to the solenoids.
Oh, wow. Yeah, don't die. I think by the time I could contact someone to come find you in our mysterious studio location, it might be too late.
I always tell people if you can't take 50 volts like a champ, you probably shouldn't be working on pinball, but...
How do you test that?
Make a mistake, get zapped, and then see how you react.
I don't want to do it. What if you just play that old Addams Family game with Uncle Fester and you like hold on to the rods and it's like... And if you can beat that, then you're okay.
Can I ruin the magic for you? You didn't say yes, so I'm not going to ruin the magic.
Yes, my childhood is ruined.
Yeah, you're not getting electrocuted there, just FYI.
You're just getting heavy vibrations.
I used to have to work on one of those things.
But the lights are flashing, so it must be electricity.
I hate that game so much. It's
such
a pain in the butt.
And you're across the arcade and you still hear the... It's lower pitch than that.
The motors the motors just tear themselves apart.
I can't imagine working on that game.
Yeah, the company that made those things is like way long out of business. It was a UK company, and we had some of those motors made. to repair the one we had at Musée Mécanique, and it just like they were like $300 or $400 each, but that game made thousands of dollars a week. It was insane. It was way worth it to get those motors.
I mean, as a
reunited.
consumer, if you see that at an arcade, you have to try it. And then once you try it and you go to an arcade with some of your friends, then you have to make them try it. It's just kind of part of it.
So here we have...
Every Bally deserves a new rectifier board.
Nah.
True or false, Kyle?
We're just going to fix it.
He said nah.
We're just going to fix it. This one's fine. It's all original. It's a little burnt up. Someone's done a little work to it, but I strive on keeping this thing as original as possible. So that's what we're going to do.
Oh, yeah, there was a Star Trek version.
What's up?
The Star Trek Borg version of that game.
Oh, yeah, huh? I forgot that exists.
Me too.
So,
does Fuzzy Cord ask, does it use a full bridge diode rectifier?
Yeah. Yep, it has, there's 3 full bridge rectifiers, bridge rectifiers, and then it has 1 discrete bridge rectifier. So you've got, I think they go in order of voltage. So I think, I'd have to look at the manual, but if I think if I remember right, this one is...
can you tilt up? Sorry. Can't see.
Actually, you know what? No, let me not say it wrong. I have the manual right here. I can just look at it.
Always check your manual. If you have a pinball machine that doesn't have a manual inside the cabinet, then
get one.
You should find one.
You have no business working on it.
We have many on our website.
Unless you have a manual.
Not all, but many. So good luck in your journey. It's always the first thing I do.
Yeah, so they are done by voltage. So BR1 is the feature lamps, I think. It's like 5 volts. This one is for your 12 volts, and this one's for your 50 volts, or 40 volts for the solenoids. So BR1, 2, and 3. And then you have your discrete bridge rectifier here, and this rectifies your high voltage. So it's a 240 volts, I think. It goes through this guy here.
Oh, wow. Let me go closer. Your face is so...
No, I'm just reading.
You're reading the chat, and you just had such a great smile on your face.
No, it's just funny. You should allow that comment. NH Polar Bear says he's just joking at me.
Oh, why didn't it allow it?
Because it said shill. I don't know. Look,
is shill a bad
I would
word?
recommend people to get a new rectifier board if they don't know how to repair them or if they are already damaged. This one's discolored but not damaged. So
you're always getting mad at NH Polar Bear.
Everyone knows that I am a stiffler for original stuff, and I'm going to keep my original rectifier board for now. So.
Yeah, I mean, and it's important to know how to fix it too, because this is how these games will last for so many years, like they have been.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Like, me doing this also is going to take an hour or more, depending on how bad or what condition they're in. It could take more than an hour. And the rectifier boards really aren't that expensive. So what's your time worth, you know? And then you don't have to deal with something burnt up and nasty. So, but this one's really not burnt up, so.
So Dwayne the bathtub asked, what's the plan on this board? Are the test points measuring wrong, or are you updating those tiny heat sinks? Can you just give like a general overview of like where we're at, why we're working?
Yeah, the reason I'm taking this out is because the lights are extremely dim, so I want to replace the rectifiers for the feature lamps. It looks like it's been replaced once, but I want to check it out. And also, I want to replace the header pins, which are quite tarnished. So while I have it out, I can do all of that at the same time. So, yeah. Generally, people will replace these because they are burnt up and destroyed. It looks like someone's actually done not only just replaced one of these rectifiers, but they've also either reflowed or replaced the main connector here, which is fine, but we're going to get in here and do the same thing and just kind of update it to 2022.
Oh, well.
The one reason that this is extraordinarily difficult to replace, and this is not like a super beginner's even board swap, is you do have to attach each of these wires from the transformer correctly to these solder holes in the board. So this is not a super duper duper simple thing.
Did you get to?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm reading the chat. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Emoto's on the phone, I think.
All right. No, sorry. I was talking to Anderson.
Oh, okay, okay.
She says hi.
Hello.
And good job. Keep up the good work.
So each of these bridge rectifiers is equally disgusting and dirty on the top, so it makes me think that someone may have just hit it with a soldering iron to try to create a better connection.
Yeah. Can you show us what solder points are not supposed to look like?
No, it's not supposed to look like this. This is just sloppy, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, it looks...
But it's fine. This is actually a board that generally when you do work on it, it just looks like garbage when you're done anyways. So,
really?
Yeah. It's really hard to keep them looking nice and clean. Actually, I'm going to try adding a little bit of solder here really quick to get it fluxed up a teeny bit so I can start extracting these bridge rectifiers. And I want to test our current stock. The form factor of the bridge rectifiers used on these boards is like no longer available. And we have some in stock that are like very similar, but I don't think they're the same. So I think what it comes down to is like with the ones that I got from Marco, if you were to replace one, you need to replace all three of them at the same time. So they all sit at the same level. And I'll show you why that is necessary in a second.
Makes sense. Look at that sucker.
I think I need to get my manual sucker.
Don't. Stop inhaling.
To get this done all the way. Come on.
Pinball Daddy said, do not pull or tug on the fuses.
Don't break things you don't need to break. This is my board that is unhappy, and we need to get the gremlin out of it, so I will put that there. Get my manual solder sucker here. What I'm going to put a little bit more solder into the joints I just sucked out.
Ew, Insanity Falls, no.
The traces on these boards are gigantic and very, very, they're just huge. So it's really hard to get the trace and the via like hot enough to extract all the solder sometimes. So but hopefully what we can do is we'll get this thing to a point where we can start wiggling the bridge rectifier out. When I'm taking like large bridge rectifiers out, like 35 amperes, like out of you know, the more modern pinball boards, a lot of the time I'll use 2 soldering irons to get them out, just to be able to heat up 2 different legs at the same time.
Oh wow!
Just because it's like you can do a lot of damage yanking these things out of boards.
Scary.
On the later games, the WPC games, every time they start resetting, when you hit like both of the flippers, like everyone on the internet's gonna be like, "Oh, replace the bridge rectifiers," and sometimes that's the problem, sometimes it's not, but it's also not an easy thing to do. It's really easy to tear that board up if you don't have the right equipment. So I'm going to try to get
Wisp is here. Welcome to Wisp. You made it, even if it's for a short second. Thanks for stopping by.
Howdy.
He stuck out of work for us.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. We turned this from the Kyle being frustrated that he thought he was going to fix this problem show to the, well, let's just do something else.
I know. So with what you're doing now, what should have the title of this show be?
This would be Bally rectifier board. And again, this is something most people won't do these days just because you can get new boards. So why would you repair the old crummy one, especially when the components are difficult to source? I mean, our rectifiers we sell like as a substitute they're good, but I'm not sure you can use them in conjunction with the originals. So let's actually look at that now. I don't have a caliper to measure, but we can use the eyeballs.
Congrats, Pinball Gramps, on the revival of Gilligan's Island. Yay! We didn't have to send Kyle all the way to you to fix it. That's awesome.
I'd love to go up and visit him, though.
It's too late. It's fixed.
Yeah. Okay. So you can't just replace one. You will have to replace all three at the same time. You've got options to do this. Like sometimes people will mount these things to the top of the board and then put a heat sink on them. But I can utilize the old heat sink. So the reason that the height matters is there's a heat sink back here. It's just a piece of aluminum. But if you look at this original bridge rectifier, this is the 40-plus-year-old one here, right?
I'm going to focus on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then look at this replacement. Do you see the height difference there?
Yeah. Yep.
Now, so if you tried to put one of these on and didn't have, and only replaced one of them, right, these wouldn't touch the heat sink. They'd overheat and they'd go out. So you'd have to replace all three of them with these, and that's fine. So.
Yeah, might as well. While you're here.
Anywho, which side's which? There's a plus down there. So plus is on the BR side. So you have to install them the correct way too. We can show that. Anywho, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove the other two bridge rectifiers while we're here. And then we will start moving along to the installation side of things. And then we'll replace some headers. And we might need to start going in and looking at the actual the connectors in the harness as well. But we'll get Viking up to snuff here. I really like to bring this game home someday. I really like Viking. So then it will just sit in my living room unused instead of sitting here unused, but you know. Adding a little bit of fresh solder helps from the flux and the new solder melt in through the board, get all the other solder done. I'm holding the iron here for a long time because, like I said, the trace is super fat. And it takes a while to warm up. This solder sucker is failing. There it goes. Is it really dirty?
Probably.
I'll check it in a second.
Yeah, Viking is a really great game. The node you have to do at the bottom to get it out from the outlane back onto the flipper is exciting.
It's so exciting.
No one's going to eat the solder. We promise. Oh no, Insanity Falls has never played Viking.
It's terrible.
Is there a place on location that you can play it?
Probably.
Anyone know?
It's not an uncommon game.
Yeah, but do people put this game on location? I mean, I've seen it at... I mean, obviously, I played it at Museum of Pinball back in the day.
A good location.
And maybe sometimes
that
at shows when people bring out their private collections.
A good location will have a Viking. If they don't, it's not a good location.
Yeah. That's the litmus test. If you're a good location.
If you want to cater to people who like 40-year-old pinball machines.
Who doesn't?
Most locations. And I don't blame them.
No, who doesn't like 40-year-old? They like them. They maybe just not want to put them.
Maybe. Some people do. Some people don't.
Yeah.
but they're wrong. So.
Oh, Pinball Grams has his virtual pinball set up to Viking.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
That's excellent.
Let's see.
Okay, it looks like some of these, the leads on the bridge rectifiers are bent over, so instead of tearing the board up, I'm going to try to get some flush cutties inside and try to snip them off, or try to bend them and snip them.
Oh, you can play it at District 82, Wizards World, Pinball Perfection in West UPA. Oh, wow. I need to get out more now. North End Pub. No way. There's a Viking pizza company in Tennessee that has a Viking pinball in it.
Excellent branding.
How appropriate. Game Galaxy in Tennessee has one. The Pinball Lounge has one.
I feel bad. I don't know where a lot of these places are.
Pinball Lounge is in Florida near Orlando.
Okay.
Game Galaxy is in Tennessee, kind of near Nashville. I think it's Smyrna or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
District 82, you've probably heard of them.
I know District 82, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're a big spot.
But aren't they like not open? Like it's just a tournament place or something, or?
No, I think they might not have 7 days a week operations. They do lots of big tournaments. So maybe,
But since I'm a non-competitive pinball kind of guy, I'm clueless.
Oh, but you know how to fix them, so that's just as important to us. Captain's Arcade Showroom, and then several places in Europe. Let's see. Pinball's Eye in Sweden? Is that where that is?
Of course it's in Sweden.
Hey, you could go to that one, Daniel. It's not too far from Oslo. Retro Arcadin in Glostrup.
Yeah,
Clubhouse
Daniel, you should
in the
just go to
Netherlands.
Sweden for us. Be our correspondent.
Wild. Pinballmaps.com. You find out anything you need to know about where pinballs are.
Yeah, Pinball Maps rules, just FYI. If you guys have never used it, it's pretty much the greatest thing ever.
Yay, ice cream. Thanks for joining us. Wicked Pizza Pinball Pit.
Ice cream? I want ice cream.
Have fun at Fantastic.
Yeah, have fun at Fantastic. That's really cool. I'm jealous.
Yeah, go find the polar bear in the wild.
Okay, I can now solder it on. I think I do need to address this. Actually, you know what? Do I have my heat sink paste? I think it lives in here. It should be in this paper towel, so I think I do have my heat sink paste. I need to get something to clean this old heat sink goop off, so give me a second.
Nice. And Insanity Falls, that Viking pizza place actually had a Road Kings and a Viking. So you should just make a trip to Tennessee.
My wife is going to Tennessee in next weekend, I think.
Nice.
I should tell her, well, she's going to be in Nashville, but she should go. My favorite place in Nashville, there's two good places. You've got the crazy giant game terminal, and then you've got this really rad bar called No Quarter. That place rules. They've got a bunch of great games in there. They're all inexpensive. They're 50 cents. They're very kind. They've got good drinks, nice people, very welcoming, awesome jukebox.
Mr. Love, can you live stream the karaoke with John Borg?
No, that's against the rules.
What?
You don't live stream karaoke.
Mr. Borg would love his karaoke performances to be recorded. And he usually records them and posts them himself on his Facebook. So
that's a karaoke faux pas. You never record.
No, he'll request it. You can get him to sign off. He'll say okay. Be like, Emoto really wanted me to record your, your karaoke session. I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, cool.
Yuck.
Daniel says, I think the best pinball shows and tournaments in Europe are in Germany. I've heard of a lot of good ones in Germany.
Yeah. No, there are. See, that's the reason. You should send me to
I think
Germany
one just
for
happened, right?
correspondence.
Karaoke stays at karaoke. No.
All right. Used a
You
little
guys
bit
are
of
buzzkills.
denatured alcohol to get that
He'll
off.
probably
You can also
record
use
himself
like,
anyway.
I mean, a lot of the times since I keep like isopropyl alcohol around the house a lot, so I'll use isopropyl alcohol to clean off heatsink goop and stuff. Oh look, everyone said I'm right. Good. But we should live stream John Borg doing karaoke because that's hilarious.
Yeah, not everyone else. Just ask John if he can record him doing karaoke.
So you've got
Sorry,
a
Moto.
positive, a negative, and then 2 AC inputs on a bridge rectifier. On certain bridge rectifiers, like the actual footprint will be different. Like one of these will be inset really far. On this one, it tells me that I've got negative on this corner, positive on this corner, AC, AC. So thankfully, this
cool.
board is also marked out the same way. You just need to make sure you get the orientation correct, since you do have to flip it over. So I see the positive in the corner towards me, negative in the corner away from me. If I install it this way, positive will be in this corner. So stick them on in.
Nice.
Da-da-da. Let's solder this sucker in. We're making a little bit of progress here. After the terrible, awful, disgusting setback that board
No.
not fixing itself by
Make
doing
new
that one
ones,
thing.
yeah. Make new memories.
It's not easy to solder these
So
things.
you solder it in, and then you cut off the edges or the extra?
Yeah. You really have
That
to make
makes
sure
sense.
that these things sit flush when you solder them in too, so they all make the maximum amount of flush connection with the heatsink as possible.
Are you putting lots of pressure on it?
Yes. Yep. I'm holding it from
Okay.
the back using the actual heatsink spacer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Big fat trace. It's taking a long time to heat up.
Insanity Falls got some stories. We're gonna have like a campfire chat at some point. We just listened to all of Insanity's Falls stories.
Are they karaoke
Pinball
stories?
Grams got his new pinball today. Yay! Your games will thank you.
Yay. Pinballs.
Pinballs.
I'm trying to make sure that I get everything hot enough so the solder really bonds and sticks to the legs of the bridge rectifier.
Daniel said, Kyle, it's easy when you just screw the bridge rectifiers first and then solder.
That's a really good point.
Oh, so like put that long piece underneath
Yep.
and then.
Yeah, that's actually,
Okay.
that's an extraordinarily good point. That saves me one really annoying step. So I'm going to do that.
Daniel, you're great. That's awesome.
I'm going to double check my orientations again. We've got positive towards me, just like this.
Insanity Falls, yes. Let's do it. The best conversations at TPF I've learned happen in the parking lot at like 3 a.m. through 6 a.m. I don't know why. It's just a thing.
Okay.
Nice.
Get all those suckers in. Let's get that heat sink goop. I'm gonna get a
Heat sink goop.
towel here because it's gross. Oh crap, I forgot to clean off one side of it also. I forgot to clean the actual bracket. Give me one sec. You want to make sure the surfaces are all clean. So the heat sink goop will just make a good solid connection. Clean off the back side here.
Oh, nice.
I need to do this with my computer. I need to take my computer apart and reapply some new heatsink goop to my processor. Actually, you know what? I did that like 2 years ago.
So tip to Insanity Falls and anyone else who meets us at a show, please come up and talk to us, number one. Because usually we're too like moving all over the place and not thinking right, and also extreme introverts, even though it doesn't seem like it because we have this show, but we are very introverted. So we would really appreciate y'all reaching out and coming up to us saying hello. And then also tell us your chat name on Twitch, like your handle, and then we will know who you are. I felt like we met quite a few people at the last shows and they're like, oh yeah, we met, I said this. And they never said their Twitch handle, and so we forgot to put the 2 and 2 together. But we love when y'all come up and talk to us. Kyle, you apparently talked to Insanity Falls, but you don't remember.
When?
Which, that show was a very intense and fast-paced show for us, because we go pretty big there, so I apologize. At Texas Pinball Festival.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I probably remembered, maybe, it's so insane. Look, I'll be honest, a lot of those times, you work hard, play hard, I'm exhausted, like, by the time I leave my house to go to these dang things. I'm exhausted all weekend, and then you combine it with the copious amounts of beer and talking and loud noise, and my brain just kind of turns off after a little while. But I love meeting everybody, and I love talking to people. Sometimes I don't initiate the conversation, though, unless I know who you are.
Oh, you got your first pin
yes,
famous
that was
selfie.
so funny.
Texas.
Funny in a good way.
Gorilla Pinball. What's up?
Just in case some of y'all don't build your own computers and you've never done heatsink, I actually probably put too much.
Yes, please explain this pattern.
Generally, you don't want to put a lot of heatsink paste on. This is actually very thin. It looks really goopy here, but you want it to be even. What you do is like using the pressure of tightening all this stuff down, the heatsink paste like spreads itself out. And the heatsink paste is there just to fill the gaps between the hot object and the heatsink itself. So that's why you don't want to just like put on a big old glob of it and then tighten it down, because it's going to actually function worse. Now, on this piece of crap, it probably doesn't matter, but on your really expensive, powerful gaming PC or something, it makes a lot more of a difference. So I just, when I learn how to use a product, somehow like it applies into every facet of it being used, and I'm just going back on my PC building experiences right now.
Nice.
Oh, crap, wait.
Oh my god.
No, I can't do this yet because I was going to change all the headers, so I can't tighten it down because if I tighten it down, then I can't access the headers. So, okay, so now it's just going to be really messy. Because Kyle is not thinking again. It's not like we've never heard that. But it's okay. We'll be fine. I'm going to remove all of the headers. Unfortunately, I cannot use the solder sucker because the tip is not the right size. So I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way with the manual pump. Get this out of the way.
Thanks for the recap. Did you ready?
Yeah, I gave up on the 10x thing.
Nope.
It's a problem I kind of want to bang my head against the wall with while I can think instead of having to like talk. So
CNK will be silent all day long and just wait for his moment to strike.
Hasn't happened for a while.
I know. Well, he just said you're spreading that white goo again.
Oh my God.
Came just in time.
I'm gonna remove these the old-fashioned way in the sense that I am heating the back of the pin. I am grabbing the. He's all emoji.
Wait,
Get out of here. Ban that guy. CNK's banned. Get him out of here.
You can't ban him. He's unbannable for some reason.
I'm heating it up and then I'm extracting the pin through the top. That's the safest way to get these things out without damaging the board itself. It's kind of unnecessary, but again, I am trying to preserve some of the aesthetics on this board. So yep, the old and see, I guess the other thing too is like charging a customer to do this like is not worth it. For most customers' games, 90% of the time, it just makes more sense to, if they have a problem with their rectifier board, you just replace the board. But yeah, you were just pin pulling today. This is a lot of fun. Emoto, you went to Six Flags. How fun was that?
It was amazing because there was nobody there. So there was literally no lines for anything.
That's
Took
insane.
less than 5 minutes to get on all the big roller coasters.
How the heck?
I know. It's just there's a very high heat index, so I think it just scared people from going.
Was it miserable?
No, as long as you know how to deal with high heat indexes and stay hydrated and, you know, keep a cool damp cloth around, it's not too bad.
I'm probably going to have to get real shorts when I go to Disney this year because I don't think my wife would let me step outside in my jorts.
Why? Don't you have soft plunge shorts you can wear?
Yeah, actually I do.
There are still multiple Six Flags all across the country. I went to Six Flags over Georgia, which is in Georgia.
You don't say.
Today is National Hydration Day. Oh, I thought I saw Colin Baxter post that, but I thought he was just...
yeah, I thought Colin wanted me to drink beer.
I know. I thought he was just joking.
Man, Colin, you know what? If he's here, actually, he's probably not here, so I'm just going to ruin his world. I'm off the juice. I haven't drank beer at home in like a month because I've swapped it with wine.
Oh my gosh. Well, then now you can get a 6-pack.
What?
Not of beer, but like, you know.
Well, my favorite brewery that I used to go pick up my beer from every Thursday after this show, they're actually getting a brick and mortar spot, so they don't do their can pickups anymore. And it's not worth drinking beer unless I'm drinking heavenly German-style beers, so I just figured,
What kind of wine do you drink?
Been drinking a lot of rosé and Sauvignon Blancs just because it's so disgustingly hot outside. Wine in a can, yeah, baby. Nah, there's actually a really, really, really amazing mom and pop wine store and bar, like literally walking distance from my house. It's like 3 blocks away. So I've been going over there and supporting them. They have very, 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 very good deals on wine.
Pin guy, right? You only need one.
Not only good deals.
Digerati said something to think about, Kyle, while you're kicked back in your lazy boy tonight. but maybe put an O scope on that board and see if that tells you what's going on with that 10 times bulb.
Yeah, I definitely think
while
that
you're chilling.
That's going to be the plan for maybe when I get in here myself in a couple days. We'll put the scope on it, and I'll have to like look at the output of a chip that's working correctly or a signal that's coming out correctly and compare it to the one that's being stubborn and annoying and a butthead. I wish I could do some of this stuff at my house because I would actually work on it. I just don't like coming all the way out here where this is to work on games. It's just too far.
Really Pinball. I love the artwork on Viking.
It's so good. Actually, I wonder if Xenon uses Q19 because I could just work on that board with my Xenon that I do have at home.
There you go.
But then again, will I actually do that? Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I'll probably just be lazy and do something else. Like think about mowing the lawn and then looking and seeing how many suns the temperature is measured in, and then decide I shouldn't go mow the lawn.
Rilla Pinball said, from 1980 to 2020, the art credits on games should read either as Kevin O'Connor or not Kevin O'Connor.
Hey,
there's other artists, but he did.
Greg Ferris did a bunch of art.
Yeah.
I think his art became a little more
prevalent.
He even did
Hardbody, even though he hates talking about it. He was there.
Greg Ferris's art was a little more prevalent later on, but Greg did a lot of art.
Kevin O'Connor did do.
I gotta text Greg. I gotta ask him some art questions. This is just an absolute slog.
Digerati said Xenon does use that driver, Kyle.
Yeah, maybe I'll bring it home. I just don't think I'd do anything with it this weekend. And I don't know if I'd actually do it when my wife is gone either, because I'll probably be even lazier that weekend. So we'll see.
No, that's when you're supposed to catch up on your work.
Yeah, my work, as in I need to play more video games.
Catch
up
work.
On the 160 games on Steam that I have, and I only play like 8. I do need to actually finish Surf Champ. It's just cosmetic things here and there. I've got it working perfectly now. There's one light issue I'm having, but it's very bizarre and vibration based, so I need to jump in on that, but I kind of know what the problem is. And then I need to call that customer and say, yo, come get your game.
You working on games is so synonymous with me doing video editing. I love doing it, but you start working on a project and then move on to another project, and then this one's kind of getting old on the shelf, and then people are like, hey.
I just have not been motivated to do anything.
And then you work, you're working all day, so you go home, you want to chill.
Yeah, well, I'd rather work on pinball than do the stuff that I do at work sometimes, right? So it's it should be more exciting, but sometimes I just want to have nothing to do with pinball and just relax and not work on games for a minute. But like I told everyone last week when you weren't here, it's last week I wanted to not even do the show. I wanted to just be I don't feel good. I don't want to do it.
Well, thanks for doing it.
And then, it's I just thought but we're going to have fun, right? It's going to be fun. I have everyone
I was
here.
in the chat for a little bit while walking around Six Flags. It was cool. I was riding roller coasters with y'all. You didn't even know.
Oh my goodness.
Top 3 video games. Man, how do you even choose top 3? What are your top 3 video games, Kyle? I would say, for me, the Uncharted series counts as 1.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know.
But I mean,
honestly,
I could
that's
do like
hard.
top 3 per genre.
I mean, like what? It's like asking like what your favorite pinball game is, and like most of the
Right.
time that changes for me a lot. But
That's true. I do have a top 10 pinball list that's pretty never changing though.
I guess.
Like old games? Oh, like Dragon's Lair and Pac-Man style? Oh, wow.
Oh, like old arcade video games.
Classics wise, Tetris is probably my favorite.
Yeah, I'd have
Top
to
3
agree.
of 2022? Oh, geez. I'm stuck in 2020. I just finished Legends of Valhalla. And that took a long time.
I totally destroyed or ripped a trace up here. Fixed it. That'll be okay. I like strategy games a lot, so I play a lot of
It's just Elden Rings.
I play a lot of map games and like resource management games. I like management games. I've been playing a lot. There's this game I've played for years called War Thunder, and it's like a arcade style like plane and like tank.
You just rip that? What is that? Like,
Yeah, this
what can
is a
you
trace
do?
that
How can you
lifted
fix it? Oh,
Well, that's what I'm
You
looking
just-
at now. The fillet tore out, so I'm trying to see if I could get the fillet back through the hole. This one's going to be a little difficult. What we're at though is like now that I've pulled the pins out, I will have to come through the top and the bottom to remove the solder. I'll probably work on the top. In my experience, that generally goes a little smoother on these boards. But what we have to do kind of is you get in here and add a little bit of solder to almost all of these. Actually, you know what? At this point, this is the perfect time to use the actual solder sucker. So I'm going to go grab that again.
oh, okay.
That will actually be really helpful.
Zelda Breath of the Wild is amazing.
I need to get
I'm
into more
glad. I'm
narrative-based
glad you
games.
totally finished that to more Gramps. That means you got 100% on all the runes
Oh,
too.
hey. No, here we
Which-
Go. Insanity Falls, and
That's
I got some good. Yeah,
Oh yeah, do
Stellaris.
you like Stellaris?
Stellaris is one
that
of my
your game?
favorite games of all time. I love all of the Paradox Interactive games. So, the Hearts of Iron, Europa Universalis, Crusader Kings. I love those games. I've been playing them since I was a teenager.
I got Kyle a little kokoro seed that he has in his house.
Have you been
Um,
over since you
Breath of the
gave
Wild.
that to us?
Yeah, it's like he hides up in the ceiling or something.
Eska moves him.
Nice. And he goes, "Hey, you found me."
Next time you come over, you'll have to see if you can find him.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Masters of Orion 2 is one of my all-time favorite games. Holy moly. I'm a member of all of these like retro PC gaming groups on Facebook, and like lots of dudes like with Windows 95 and 98 games, and like another one dedicated to DOS games, which is a little before my time, but I still had some. But like some guy posted pictures of Masters of Orion. I was just like, oh my gosh, I forgot all about this. Yeah, sorry, I'm a nerd. I'm a
No,
PC
it's good.
gamer.
Don't
I like
apologize for
PC
that
games.
ever.
But yeah, I like management games and stuff like that. I don't know why. Watching numbers go up. There's a game that I've been really into that just put out a huge update, or another update, and I need to restart, but it's a game called Satisfactory. And it's like you build a factory. So like you take this resource to make this, and then the next thing you need to progress takes this resource that gets turned into that, and then add that resource with something else to make this, and it compounds how complicated they are. They're so cool. I never got into Dwarf Fortress, but there's some YouTubers that I watch play Dwarf Fortress, but I'm a huge RimWorld fan. I love the game RimWorld. Which not similar. They're kind of similar, but not the same. It sounds like what we need to do is we need to get we need to have a gaming channel or something on Discord.
Oh yeah. Are you still on Discord?
Oh, I am. I use it all the time. We can keep pimping it out, but I'd love to play games with people. Actually, one of my coworkers, Jess, she is really into the Paradox games also, and she's going to get me in on like a multiplayer game with some of her friends, and we're going to play multiplayer Hearts of Iron. It should be kind of fun. I'm going to use 2 irons here to kind of heat this one up that doesn't want to clean up. Daniel is right, though. Video games are fun, but pinball's pinball. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of like arcade video games, just because it wasn't really my thing. I was born much after that, really. But I really like PC games because of their complexities. That being said, when everyone was on lockdown, Emoto got me back into Assassin's Creed. And that's a really fun series. I kind of didn't play for a long time.
Because you love history too.
Yeah. It's fun to be able to run around in like a digital version of ancient, Greece or something,
Dave said, are you repinning the female connectors also?
Probably, yeah.
And then he said, Zork.
Zork? I feel like I'm getting zorked right now by this game. It's angry at me. But see, this is all the reason why it really does just make more sense to install a new board. I'm just stubborn and I don't want to, so. I like my original silly old hardware. So what I did here is, since I manually extracted the pins, I laid down a little bit more solder. And now I am sucking all of that solder off through the component side to really try to clear the holes out for the new headers. Okay, and there's the one that I tore up really bad, so we'll have to address that one with care. But let's see if we can get that done before the show. Actually, you know what? We're going to have to wait. I'm okay turning Viking into a pain-in-the-butt problem show. We can definitely work on this one again next week. Just so we can kind of finish this bit up. There's really not much to the rest of this. It's just stuff the components in, solder them down, etc. But the, yeah, I'm still really tripping on that damn lamp driver board. It's kind of bothering me. I really do want to fix it. I just feel bad that I'm really not able to think critically like that and talk at the same time. So it's your guys' fault, not mine. And no, just kidding. That was not a funny joke.
But the ending was. Schedule.
DeWisp likes the original hardware too. Honestly,
Yes.
like this one doesn't even have like a, it doesn't even have like the serial number of this game on it or anything, which is my argument for keeping most of it original. But this game has almost all of the original hardware, so I just would rather keep it that way if possible. Even so, like I'm gonna convert this game to do 7-digit scoring using one of Andrew Spittler's computers that he made. but instead of like using like our really nice pin score displays, I'm gonna use a set of my like good stock of working Bally 7-digit displays. You know, just to keep it as original as I can. I don't know why, but this game's so original. Why mess with it now? That's what I'm thinking, at least.
Yeah.
And I'm the only person that cares. But that's fine, because it's my game. People come at me all the time.
Care.
It's like, what do you think about this mod? What should I do this? It's like, I don't care. And you shouldn't care about my opinion either. It's your game.
Oh, no.
You know, if you want to put something in your game, do it. It's yours.
Not to derail again, back to video game land, but Penguy just said that they got missed for VR.
No,
And
really?
so I think that's what we have to do this weekend, Kyle.
Oh, wait. Like,
we have to both get lost in Mist.
is it the original Mist or one of the...
It's gotta be, right?
And like, how do they deal with like the static sceneries? Like, is it like a static position and you can like look around like you would in the original game, or do you have the ability to like move, or what? That's super cool.
That's a good question.
They rewrote it a little bit. Can you see if that's on the Oculus store, Imoto?
I was typing it in. Yeah,
God, what
actually,
is wrong with all you guys?
Penguy, if you have an Oculus, or anyone who likes Mist, The Room VR is actually a really fun puzzle game that's very Mist-esque.
Which game?
The Room.
Oh, huh.
You're like in this like big museum and you're puzzle solving and stuff, but it kind of has that like exploratory vibe as Mist and complex mind puzzles. Yes, Mist is on Oculus Quest.
Well,
Ooh, Kyle, it's 40% off right now.
I like that.
$17.99. We should do a video game stream. Just kidding. We love pinball. Pinball repair. So everyone in the chat, please help me convince Kyle to do a second show called, well, this was formerly Crystal's show, but Homebrew Live, where we interview people who make custom pinball machines and show off their games. What do you guys think about that? Wouldn't that be a cool live stream to have on a more reoccurring schedule?
I just want to interview Scott Denisi and Ryan McQuaid.
There's so many more.
I know.
They're awesome. Don't get me wrong. They're the greatest people ever. But there's so many amazing people making custom games right now. And they're all cool like them.
Yeah, they are neat.
And intelligent and skilled.
How about we have a show where I finally actually start to build my own game?
Oh, Insanity Falls is brilliant, marketer.
What?
We should just do one that's just called Pinball Live, and it could be anything.
Yeah, for sure. Just all pinball all the time.
That did help.
Y'all
I'll
are
pitch
wacky.
it at our next company meeting.
Please. Oh, yes. Da, 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 da. It fit. That's beautiful.
It fit?
Yes.
Yay! Professional.
Sometimes you really have to fight those damn things just because of the way the those holes, they're just hard to clear out, I guess. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just solder this one in before we go. Hey, we have 3 minutes, so y'all should ask me questions or just listen to me talk about video games.
Do you guys have any questions in the chat? Kyle, we still have to show off our cool stool at the end.
Oh, we do? Okay, then I need to do this really quick.
After you do this. So is anyone working on games that you would have questions for Mr. Spiteri while he finishes this last header connector?
For Kyle the failure who can't get his lamp driver board working.
No. What is everyone working on these days?
You missed it last
I
week.
just got
We were talking
I just
about
got my new
battery-powered weed trimmers.
weed trimmers.
Yeah, I was
That's what
very
you're doing
highly
for repair?
recommended the Ryobi thing. It's Father's Day, so I'm just like trying to be a dad, you know, mowing the lawn and stuff. I
Yeah,
guess.
well, you do have 4 children now, so
That's true.
that's big responsibility. I hope all of them got lots of treats or gave you treats, right? Did they bring you any gifts?
No, they didn't do nothing. They just sat there all day.
What? Did they at least like hang out for pets?
Maybe.
Slept in the same room you were hanging out in at least?
Sometimes. My little.
All right, Insanity Falls coming at you. Kyle, I'm working on a blackout right now.
Nice.
It's all working, but it's really hot and I don't want to put it all back together. What should I do to stop being a lazy sack of caca?
Don't ask me because I am the laziest sack of caca. I can't even be bothered to work on my own games. So.
I have a tip for you, Insanity Falls. You should start a weekly live stream about pinball repair. And then you will have a bunch of accountability buddies to keep you working on your games.
That is true.
And turn on the AC. Oh, or you can go to option B, which is load it up on the truck and drive it to CNK's house, and he'll handle it from there.
That's a great game. I love
Did you
Blackout.
already? Yeah, his 4 children all have 4 legs each, and they meow when they need treats. So, I don't think he's figured out how he got so many. They just kind of appeared. I was there when the 4th one appeared, and then all of a sudden it was like leader of the house. So I think that's just how it works.
I'm
Right?
just a sucker
Kyle?
for cats that need homes.
And the cat wasn't even black, so it didn't make sense to Kyle's branding with his tech company called Black Cat Pinball.
Yeah, he's
He's
just
gray.
He's a gray cat,
He's
but
gray.
he's fine. That's fine. It's like black, just with a little bit of white spilled in.
Yeah, he's off black.
Oh, I forgot one. Yep.
Pinball Gramp says to buy all your kids lawnmowers and have them mow the lawn for you.
I think that's why I need to have an actual
Little
child.
cat paws are like pushing. They could like stand up on each other and like push them.
Yeah, I need to like have an actual child to do all my chores for me. I guess that's why people have children, right?
Yeah, I missed it.
All right. I'm going to
Okay.
clean up the work I've done so far, and then
We'll show you guys a cool, fun new product we just launched.
yeah, speaking of children, if you actually have some, this might be the perfect
yeah.
thing for you.
Great segue. Oh, Rebel Dog, after my heart. Yeah, Monkey Island 2 were amazing. Bard's Tale, amazing.
Those are great games.
I never played Lord of the Realm, but maybe they
Monkey
have it
Island
on
was a
Steam.
LucasArts game too, right?
Yeah. LucasArts made some fabulous games back in the day. Loom. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of my favorite games were definitely all LucasArts games, and I grew up on Maxis games, so a lot of my love for simulators and sandboxes and stuff come from that era of Maxis. My dad worked in an office that was in the same building as Maxis's original headquarters. That was really cool. I got to go meet some of those childhood heroes when I was a child.
I got kicked out.
What happened?
We got kicked out of TeamViewer. Hold on, I think it'll reconnect. Okay, never mind. I'm good. That was weird.
You're back in?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a couple minutes before we do this. I'm just gonna kind of clean up my mess really quick. And then I will stand somewhere nice and we can talk about this. And I'm also gonna wash my hands to get all the lead and assorted things off of my hands.
All the Sierra games are awesome too.
Oh man.
So yeah, as far as pinball news goes, has anyone played Toy Story 4 yet? It's starting to pop up on location. The new Jersey Jack game that everyone's been waiting for. Wildman, thank you for the resubscribe. 14 months. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
And what else? Let's see. So everyone's going to Pintastic. That's in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. I say that right?
Say that again.
No. That's this weekend. A great party show, big pinball community show. Lots of custom games go up there as well. And then in a few weeks, in mid-July, 15th through the 17th, is Southern Fried Gaming Expo in Atlanta, Georgia. Anyone in the chat going to Southern Fried this year? That's one of our hometown shows, so we will be out there in full force. So please come by the booth and say hi.
Yeah, I might even be there.
Oh, Insanity Falls, you're going to Branson? Wow, what are you doing in Branson? You should go to 1984 Branson Arcade. They have about 15 or so pins and a plethora of vids on free play. That is actually my current local arcade. Yay, Rebel Dog, come to SFGE. Thanks for joining us, Pin Guy. Much appreciated. Let's see, after Southern Fried, the following weekend is Yegpin. It's in Edmonton, Canada, up in the northish, westish region of Canada. It's a really big tournament show, big collection up there. And then the weekend after that, the last weekend of July, the 28th through the 30th, is California Extreme, or I think it's just a Saturday, Sunday show. So that's going to be in San Jose, California, in the Bay Area. So hope to see y'all West Coasters out there too.
It's actually in Santa Clara.
The big city, yeah. Santa Clara is like a subsect of San Jose, right? Because if you do like the hotel address, it still says San Jose.
Oh, really?
It's like me living in Van Nuys, but really it's Los Angeles, I think.
Santa Clara is its own city.
Yeah, well, that's weird. That I don't know why.
It all doesn't matter because San Jose sucks. So it's kind of just like the whole thing is its own.
But it's home of California Extreme, which makes it awesome.
Yes.
Their event is at a really cool hotel. And they have such an awesome collection of rare games and fun activities and challenges. So come out there, and we're going to be hosting Randy Martinez, pinball artist. Again, he did Mandalorian and Star Wars comic. So he'll be hanging out with us in our booth. Thanks for joining us, Digerati. See you next week.
See you next week. Maybe you'll help me with
No, in Sandy Falls, there's no Viking at 1984 Branson, but they do have a Grand Lizard, so.
That game's just as good, if not better.
I mean, right?
Well,
Joel, hello, Joel.
Defeated.
Welcome. We hope to see you at California Extreme, maybe, with Boys Night Out.
Hello. All right, so you want to talk about this thing really quick so we can end the stream and go raid Manu?
Yes. I'm going to switch to my close-up no border screen so I can get full impact. Hold on. Let me go to the Sony. Oh, God. Let's try to fix this framing. All right. So for those with kids, we have a great new product. It is not that board in Kyle's hand.
Nope. but it is the goth version of our ever so famous Marco pinball step stool. If you've ever come to a pinball show, I'm right now I'm perusing around to see if there
super sleek version
is one in here, but I think it got taken. If you've ever been into one of our events we do at a pinball show, we always have plenty of these little stools for our vertically challenged friends that are generally younger than us that want to play some pinball. So we have this new black version, sleek. Black never goes out of style. They will come with all sorts of funny slogans, as the white ones do. But the fun thing with this one is we actually are including some awesome stickers. So you can customize it all your own. I'm going to remove some of these stickers right now so you can see what you may get with your black Marco stool. You can have 2 Marco stickers, one slightly smaller than the other one.
Ah.
You've got some really rad Dirty Donnie designs from some of our older t-shirts.
Nice.
You've got the Pintech artwork from Brad Albright. You have one of Mark's favorite old things is the Marco Pinball quarter that says Marco Pinball on it.
Yay, and Pinball We Trust.
And also the Wizard. So you can take your stool, give it to your little dude or little dudette, have them mark it up with their own stickers, and then they have their own customized sleek black Marco stool. Isn't that exciting?
Yay.
Look at Dalton's super excited. Insanity Falls says that it makes them play better when they are on this stool. Even Dalton says, I'm vertically challenged. I could use one. So, yeah. Anyways, it's fun. These are the fun things that they put together, the behind the scenes. Maybe next week. They're not on the website yet, but they're not hard to find. If you type in black stool, they'll probably be in stock tomorrow or by the beginning of next week. So if you yourself have someone who could utilize the stool, come by them.
Yeah, help them out with the height. Oh, wait, I didn't get to do my favorite part.
What?
I have to read the actual post for the stools because this was a Markism.
Oh, yeah. Mark's great ad copy.
Always made the most, he was the owner of Marco Pinball, the original founder, and he always made the most awesome Easter eggs on our website. If you find any of these product descriptions that sound really punny and cute, that was Mark, and we never want to change it because he lives on through our products. So I'm going to read out the step stool. The Marco official step stool is rule the boost with the official Marco Pinball step stool. Your choice of pithy pinball proclamations pounded into the polypropylene perimeter of a perfect plastic perch for prepubescent people. I can't even say these words. Prepubescent people. It's so confused. I should have practiced it. Your choice of filthy pinball proclamations pounded into the polypropylene perimeter of a perfect plastic perch for prepubescent people. See, I've been messing up.
Mark is
it's amazing.
Mark was the master of alliteration. He was so good at it.
Yes.
I've written a few product descriptions where I have tried to do things funny like that, and it is so difficult to come up with sensible things.
And he would just come up with it like instantly.
Yeah.
Like we'd be working on a new product, and he's like, "Oh, I got one," and then would just type it all out instantly. It was the most magical thing ever. So when you guys are shopping on our website, look out for those because they exist everywhere, all across our website. If you see anything that's like, that's a really funny description, it was probably Mark writing it and giggling as he was doing it. So it's amazing.
Insanity Falls brings up a good point, though. Please practice product puns. So...
Next time I got it.
Yeah, you got to do it.
I have to memorize it, right? Off script. Go off script.
if you could memorize that, I'd be seriously impressed. Not that you couldn't do it, but that's...
Me too. Perfectly prepubescent players. Yeah, I got nothing. All right, thank you all so much for joining us today.
Sorry we couldn't actually do anything.
We'll be back next week with more Viking board work and mystery solving with Kyle.
Hopefully soon we'll be able to fire it up and fix other problems. Like,
yay, Dalton! We will see you at Southern Fried, where we will be celebrating our birthdays.
Heck together. Yeah! If any of y'all don't know, Dalton
and I
is
hope
the
you win
best.
all the tournaments for your birthday weekend.
Dalton is the best pinball player in the Southeast, if not the world. Dalton is perhaps the best pinball player in the world, and I am Team Dalton 150%. Yeah. So,
Team Dalton.
Team Dalton, all the way.
Definitely.
Hopefully.
All right, let's see who we're going to raid. Is Manu? There is no Manu.
Really? Oh, we streamed a little late last week to wait for Manu. That's a bummer, but oh well. I'm sure there's someone else to stream. Permonson says beer time. Almost. I'm drinking more wine right now, Permonson. I'm trying to lose my beer gut.
Professional pinball passer. See, Insanity Falls, guys. This is going to be my new marketing intern soon. Tell me what to say. Okay, yeah. Let's see.
Maybe next week we'll fire up the oscilloscope and I can remember how to use my oscilloscope, which I never use. And we can measure the pulses coming out of certain things and see what happens. And we'll finish this. This is almost done. Maybe I'll finish this tomorrow. I don't know. Might not need to do it on camera. It's just more header installation.
All right. Well.
Who's streaming? No one?
We're gonna go bunnies.
Huh?
Bunnies? There's no one streaming.
Well, then everyone's just gonna get sent into the void.
No, I want people that are AFK right now to come back and be like, whoa, what am I watching? Right? All right, y'all. We will see you next time. See you next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. We love you.
We're all going.
Somewhere.
3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Raid.
Ow.